views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. There. Oh, hey, everybody. Wow. Welcome, everybody. We've got a great lineup for you guys today. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Welcome to Transformation Talk Radio. And welcome to Groundhog Day. That's what I'm talking about. Puxatawny Phil. What the heck did he do? There is no shadow to be cast, and early spring is in my forecast. Oh, a little rhyme right there. And how do I know that? I woke up this morning, looked outside, and thought, OMG, the sun is out. For those of you listening from other parts of the world and listening, especially my East Coast buddies, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and we do our happy dance on days like today. Now, for my guest, Elizabeth Joyce, she does a happy dance every day. And so today we're going to be talking with her, the new spiritual chakras and how to work them, with author Elizabeth Joyce joining me here today. Why is this so important? Well, here it is. Look, for many of us, we stop for a minute and we ask ourselves a question. Wait a minute. What am I meant to do? How am I going to do it? And what if all of a sudden you recognize that you are sitting there and you have a gift? You have a talent. But what if you recognize that you're a psychic and an energetic healer? Where do you go from there? Well, today you're going to hear about this from my very special guest today, somebody that knows quite a bit about showing up and being herself. But now, fast forward to where she is today in this world of beyond, us being from Jersey, us Jersey girls, we're taking our talent out in the world so that we can help people live the lives they truly want to live. Today, I'm so thrilled to be talking with her, not only about her book, but about life, about the deal. What's going on? Is there a reason that here at the show, we've created our theme for this year that is accelerated expansiveness and abundance? Are we on track, or are we about to crack? Here we go with the show. Elizabeth, it's great to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's a pleasure to be there. I wish I really was in Seattle. Never been there. I'd love to see the city.
Oh, you would love to see the city, and you'd love to see it on a day like today because it is like off the charts beautiful. But I'm also from New Jersey, and people don't know this. And of course our producer Linda is from New Jersey as well. And she's from Bridgewater, New Jersey, Central Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And many of us that grew up in New Jersey, we worked for that phone company for a lot of years. And I'm not even sure how I got to Seattle, but that's what the show's about today. It is about being in a place of knowing, but being in that place, the knowing of how to heal, how to have consciousness, how to become conscious. And this is really why I decided to talk about this with you today, because, sometimes we know some things, and yet the evidence that we point to around us may not support it. And so today I'm thrilled to talk with you because what you've discovered is, how do we tap in to the understanding of who we are and who we're meant to be. And welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I figured that out a while ago, Pat. I'm going to tell you, I figured that out ago in the 70s, just before I met a lady by the name of Louise Hay.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the answer, the first primary answer, besides the breath of life, is meditation. Morning meditation and nightly review cannot be skipped, just like taking a shower and brushing your teeth can't be skipped. It's that important. So if you do find that you have gifts that you want to share with others, and you don't feel adequate or trained, or you don't have a college degree, you certainly can get your invisible guides to give you a metaphysical degree as you ascend, as you raise your vibration and really come in to service. But before you can come into service, you have to clear the karma, as they say.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to understand karma and to clear it.
Yeah. You know, this is the thing that I really so love about what your message is and what you're taking out into the world. It's a level of, I didn't know when I started this 13 years ago or so that I would be able to have a conversation with you and say, wait a minute, let's talk about consciousness for a minute. And let's talk about why it's even important to raise our consciousness. You know, what do you sense is in the world right now? The timing of this. You heard me earlier say that our theme this year, every year we have a theme and we get input from our listeners and from people we work with. And our theme is accelerated expansiveness. And, you know, this is an energy that we're feeling. But at the same time, we've got to clear out anything that's in the way of that.
You have to find a path. You have to learn about the path. Now, there are 4 qualifications that come from the masters, not necessarily from me, to put you on the path. Discrimination, desirelessness, good conduct, moral actions, and love. Mm. Mm. And if we could come from those points, I think that we could really grow differently than we do now. Mm-hmm. A part of meeting the universal spiritual consciousness is to know, to do, that means to take an action, to dare, and to be silent. Mm. So there's many times when third dimensional reality draws us into fights and arguments, and we're always doing this and we're always doing that, and that type of thing. And it's very difficult to break away from that. But that's called breaking away from your past. And when you're breaking away from your past, you have to break away from all your past lives as well as the one that you're in. All of us are brought here to do a task, and that is to raise the soul up from where it has been to where it needs to go. Very few people accomplish that in a lifetime, Pat.
Yeah. I was reading a number of different things on your website, and one of them was and I apologize if I don't get this exactly right. You know, it says I'm reconstructing my future. I love that. I'm reconstructing my future. I choose love, life, abundance, and balance with flow of God's plan. And you know, when I read that, I thought to myself, yeah, that's what we get to do, isn't it? You know, yes, we get to really shape it
on a daily basis. You know, I'm going to tell you something that I'm responsible for. And that is that I believe that 80% of the people doing spiritual work don't know what they're doing. That's my truth. Mm-hmm. And there are very few who have bothered to really study and have ascended to receive the gifts. The others think they have it. They're in their ego and they're collecting money. This is what I believe. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, it proves out. So how can we not get caught in that ego trap, the ego easing God out? How can we not get caught in that and not trust us, but trust the flow of life? Because the flow of life can be like walking through molasses. And if anybody felt that January was walking through molasses, well, it certainly was.
Not only that, I January, like walking through molasses. I don't know about you, but man, I got a dose of that in the second half of 2015. But that is a great description of it. And to know that, man, you know what? This is like a divine timing situation. But something happened, here recently. There's an energy, and maybe what's happened is we've changed in the way we are looking at.
Actually, no. It happened in the universe. It has to happen in the universe first, Pat, before it can come here. Yeah. Let's review. Let's do a review. Yeah. 2012, December 21st, 2012, we received a new energy. The new energy came from the center of the galaxy. It's called the double helix. It started to be available in this solar system, not just for the planet, but for the solar system. That's number one. Number two, okay, so it's pouring on the planet. What is going to happen to all the trees, the animals, and the humans on the planet? Well, all of us automatically were given two things. We were given the fourth level to the aura, whose color is amber, and it holds the new energy. It's like filling your car with gas. The second thing we were given was a guardian angel. Everybody now has an extra guardian angel besides their two guides. The guardian angel is Amber. I named her Amber. And she's at the 8.5 chakra, making sure that we do not collect or bring into the body too much of this energy and get burned out. What is it going to do when the energy comes to us? Mm-hmm. It's going to start clearing the karma. It's called destruction before reconstruction. So between 2012, and I bet you people will support this, until mid-2013, we had a couple of things happen. Everybody felt losses. Everybody felt torn. Yeah. Everybody felt disturbed and angry, upset and frustrated. That happened. That's because you were being shaken in a bowl and you had to get rid of and let go of all that you no longer needed. And Spirit determined that you did not. Because Spirit always can see underlying motives of other people. Then we had seven lineups. Uranus squaring Pluto. We just finished the seventh one. When? I believe it was September of 2015. So of course you felt that discomfort at that time. And then we had to have a realignment. And the realignment completes itself in the 2016 eclipses, and then we're done. Then we're on the path, and then we can go forward. So that is the timeline.
Wow. I don't think it's a mistake then, the way we look at, certain energies for us. The sense, for many people, and myself including, is this knowing of completion. So is that what you mean when you're referring to the alignment, the planets, the eclipses?
No, not exactly. When you get to your center, Pat, and you feel that you love every day, you love what you do, and you're honoring it, and you're doing the best you can, and you're open, and you're going to grow, then you have completed a cycle. And the cycle that you have completed, which everybody is just about finished with now, if they're on the higher level, is that completion of letting go of karma. Now you are on the first baby steps of your new path. So Pat, picture yourself having a new body and old emotional reactions. You've got the new body, but you don't want the old emotional reactions. You want to change those as well. And that's your next step. Morning meditation and nightly review will do it. And if you ask the universe in your morning meditation to balance your new body, your new universal body with your physical body, don't say anything negative. I'd like to align my new universal body, which is your universal double, with my physical body into balance and perfection. That will do it. That's all you have to say.
When we look at our lives, Elizabeth, this is one of the things that I want to ask you about. And as a matter of fact, we're starting to get some questions coming in here. When we are looking at our lives and our future, many people have gone to classes, they've gone to courses, and they walk away from them thinking, wait a minute, I need to be in the moment now. Yep. Looking ahead is not where I need to be. I've never really understood that. And
That's
I think
because they're used to something called McDonald's. And
McDonald's?
I don't do McDonald's. Yep. Instant gratification.
Oh.
I don't do McDonald's. Sorry about that. If you cannot take the time to control your mind, control your actions, have tolerance and good conduct, cheerfulness, and look kindly and gently upon all, then you need to have one-pointedness. What is one-pointedness? That's where you set a condition on your path and where you want to go. And then you have the confidence because you know you have your invisible masters always with you. You're never alone. And your invisible masters will help direct you with sincerity and surrender.
Mm. What do you think is our greatest challenge for walking the walk and talking the talk?
Well, I think our greatest challenge is not understanding, and maybe we didn't get our wake-up call yet, and we have to understand where we are. And, everybody wants to be at the 12th chakra. I'm at the 12th chakra. I've been there for years. That's a laugh and a half. There isn't anybody on this planet that's beyond the 8.5 chakra. I'm going to say that again. There isn't anybody on this planet that's at the 8.5 chakra. Very few have their 9th chakra opening. And this is going to be a 30, 50 to 100-year process. This is not McDonald's.
One of the things that I was reading about in your book is that, the new spiritual chakras. What are the new spiritual chakras, and how are they different than the chakras that people might be familiar with?
Well, the 7 original chakras are in the body. Mm-hmm. The new chakras are outside of the body. And what they really are the chakras for your universal body, wanting to come in and align with your physical body to bring it up to a higher level. The first starts off with the 8.5 chakra is like 8 feet above the head. The 8th chakra is 8 feet above the head. The 8.5 is behind where your baby bump was. And that's out 8 feet. And then you have your 9th chakra. Now, your 9th chakra is kind of on the body because it comes into where the brain meets the top of the spine between the occipital bones and the back of the head. And when that 9th chakra opens, the spiritual gifts you gain are incredible. You can tap your Akashic records. You can start writing your book of life. You will have psychic powers. You will have healing powers. And you will be beyond the ego, which means that you want to serve mankind. You don't want to go get the car. You don't want to, worry about money and all that kind of thing. You want to serve. Nothing else is more important than serving. So I have a chart on the back of the book that shows the new chakras and shows what colors they are, because all the colors have changed. So then you open your 9th chakra, and then you go up to above the 8th is the 10th, and then there's the 11th, and then there's the 12th. And they're very, very, very high energy. Pat, have you ever met Amarita Nandamayi, the hugging saint?
No.
Because she does come to Seattle every year.
Yes.
And you've heard of Sai Baba.
Yes.
Well, these are great masters, and Paramahansa Yoganandaji and the Pope. These people are great masters, and they're here, and they do move at a higher rate than we do. And they can do magical things. The Pope kissed a baby that had a horrible brain malfunction, and the baby is now healed. The baby was like 7 months old. It was a miracle. So that's just something that can happen when we get to that state, but we're not there yet. We're being asked to work towards it so that we can have calmness on the planet, joy on the planet, and something called world peace.
One of the things that I was really struck by, and I was thinking about this, is what would it be like to be born psychic? And I know that's what we read about you. That's what we read about your journey. And yet what that assumes, even if I ask that question, it assumes that we are not born psychic.
Not.
Right? And so, this is really part of a journey, at least for me, is understanding the true nature of my intuition to the point where I'm not thinking about it anymore.
Well, let's go to naturalness. Let's go to everybody can talk, everybody can sing for the most part.
Yeah.
But Pat, that when you sing in the shower, you can't sing like Barbra Streisand. Because Barbra Streisand was born with somehow a wonderful, she has 6 planets in Taurus, which rules the voice. She was born with that gift. We call it a gift because not everybody has it. And she's done wonders with it. That's what the psychic people are. I was born on a new moon eclipse. That's wild. A new moon eclipse in Pisces?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. And then Neptune opposes my sun exact on my midheaven at 29 degrees Virgo. If that doesn't open somebody up, I mean, I'm doing astrology and I know people don't understand it, but it was a very, very powerful soul decision that I made before I was born. But my mother was a shaman, and my grandmother was a shaman, and she was very powerful, and she recognized this in me at 3 years old. So she knew that I had been born with something that she had enjoyed her whole life. And it isn't easy. It isn't easy for me to see a sentence and hear the end of it as you're starting to talk it. It takes a lot of training.
I know. It's really fascinating for me because I get asked the question, how do you know the questions to ask people? And, and I thought to myself, wow, that's an interesting question. And my answer was, well, I don't really know the questions before I actually ask them.
That's right. You can't.
I don't.
But can I tell you why?
Yes, please do.
Okay. The one thing that we're learning is about electricity. And the radio. We're on the radio. And so we have some kind of a tower sending out waves. And the way that people align with those waves is to turn to that station. If you're not on the station, you're not going to hear what's there. You're not going to get the waves. So you cannot know what you're going to say or ask somebody until you're with them and you feel them and you sense. And then from their body to your body comes the question, and from your body to their body comes the answer. And that's how I do my readings. And I know some people get annoyed with me because sometimes I'll raise my voice and I'll start yelling and they'll go, "You're yelling at me." I go, "No, I'm not yelling." Nor do I feel that I'm yelling, Pat. That's really important to say. It's their higher self yelling at them for not honoring their blocks and their messages. So it's very, very interesting to see how that works. I know that many, many times when I've gone to give a lecture, I've written notes and I always keep them in my pocket and I never take them out because every audience is different. All the energy coming together is different, and you have to read the energies that are present in the room.
Yeah.
Not what you plan to say.
Yeah. And, this is really kind of, for me, it's really interesting. People think, well, don't you prepare? And I say, of course, I read everybody's book that comes to the show. And, I get totally excited about, the people that I get to chat with, like today. And then I just show up. Right. And I've not always been able to just show up in my life. And I think that's really what we're asking folks to do these days. I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, Elizabeth Joyce joining me here today. We got a copy of the book to give away to one of you out there, The New Spiritual Chakras and How to Work with Them. We're going to find a lot of information in here, and Elizabeth and I are going to chat about some of it. Also, when we come back, I'm going to ask Elizabeth to share with you how you can find out more about her services, about her books, and much more, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
She ain't real. She ain't gonna be able to love you like I will. She is a stranger.
We all seem to have something in our lives that we would like to shift, and there are a myriad of ways to implement change. But many times we try even several approaches and still don't get what we want. Why is that? Well, as it turns out, there are universal principles governing change that you probably haven't heard about before. Principles which determine whether or not you are successful in getting what you want. Follow these principles and you get positive, lasting change. Ignore them and you remain stuck. So if you are struggling in some area of your life, then you are missing an essential ingredient in your recipe for change. Want to learn the key to success? Please join me, Christine Upchurch, on February 15th at the Women of Wisdom Conference in Seattle to learn the vibration of change. Empower yourself in a new way to create the changes you desire. For more information, visit ChristineUpchurch.com. That's ChristineUpchurch.com or call 425-999-9836.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
Song of the Heart, Walking the Path of Light, from author and healer Francine Vale, is available now. Through Francine's life story, we learn how imperative it is to love one another. Once this simple truth is learned, peace on earth will prevail. Song of the Heart is a life lived and a story told for this purpose. To learn more about Francine and her amazing gifts, or to order your copy of the book today, visit angelsandlightbeings.com.
The life you're dreaming of is waiting for you to say yes. Together, we can create a powerful, love-centered world where business is not a competition, but a community of highly conscious individuals making a positive impact in their own lives and the lives of others. Fun, flexible, fabulous. You make the rules. We offer the tools. Connect with Shelley today to learn more at Live, Love, Earn with Shelley. That's SHELLEY.com.
The 24th Annual WOW Conference, United We Change the World. Featured guests are Dr. Christine Page on Creative Dragon Energy. Dr. Susan Shumsky will show you how to awaken your third eye. And Mira Kelly will present a 2-day intensive workshop on Beyond Past Lives. This February 11th through the 15th. Go to thewowconference.org. That's the WOW conference.org.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. For more information about us, go to the drpatshow.com or go to transformationtalkradio.com. For those of you out there that were asking about the network and the time frame for launching transformationradio.fm, we are almost there. And I want to thank all of you for checking it out. And yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of really cool things. You're going to be hearing more about that. Today, I'm thrilled to have Elizabeth Joyce joining us here today. And we're talking about the new spiritual chakras and how to work with them, but we're also talking about life. You know, we're talking about what is it that we can call into being for ourselves? How do we do it? And how do we use the energies that are at play for us? And much more. But before we jump to that and give a copy of the book away, Elizabeth, what's the best way for people to find out more about you, to work with you directly, and to get a copy of your book?
Well, all of my books are on Amazon.com. I have written 8 books, and I do want to say something quickly.
Sure.
If you don't understand the new spiritual chakras, then read Ascension, Accessing the Fifth Dimension. That really should be read first.
Okay.
Because that explains to you what happened in 2012, what all the dimensions are, how to recognize what level you're on, and how to get to the next level. There's all kinds of prophecy and meditation exercises in the book as well. I'm at newvisions.com, so it's www.new-visions.com. And you go to Psychic Services, and I have many, many choices on Psychic Services for whatever reading you would like. There's also the phone number. The 24-hour answering service is 201-934-8986. Leave a message there and we'll get back to you.
Wow. Thank you so much. And let's do this. I'd love to give a copy of the book away right now. 1-800-930-2819. First caller. We'd love to be able to do that for those of you out there tuning us in, turning us on. 1-800-930-2819. First copy of the book. You know, Elizabeth, you and I were talking during the break about how important it is to clear out whether it is, you know, the wounds of the past, but to clear things out. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, for, you know, based on what you and I were talking about. I'm really clear at, you know, some days more than others about what the vision is that we're creating, especially in the world of media and positive talk radio. I'm very, very clear about that. But I don't always have the hows and the who's around it. And yet more gets revealed.
That's because of the emotional interference that all of us have, Pat.
Uh-huh.
You know, I want to tell you, I went through hell and high water writing these books. I started with Ascension in 2010. Then I wrote the workbook to Ascension, which is where I originally set down the chakras as well as many, many other things. That was a healing book. There's a whole new healing on the planet. And then I wrote Seeding and Nurturing the Garden of Your Soul, which is a handbook, which reminds you what the masters are asking of us. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. And I think it should be in every church in the world. And I think it should be by your bedside. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote the New Spiritual Chakras because this summer I kept hearing, why did you hide them? Why did you hide them?
Ah.
And I said, what did I hide? And they said, the chakras. So I did the book, The New Spiritual Chakras, pulling the information out of the workbook and adding a lot more. So it was like a revision. But it's very, very powerful. And now the message is getting out there. Hey, we have something new. We have a chance to really aspire to higher greatness, to higher oneness, to higher openness, to higher love. Higher forms of love and understanding are available to us. Are we going to take the piano lessons and learn how to play? Or are we still going to ignore it all? It's our choice.
Well, yeah, it is. But I have to tell you from, what my experience is when I have ignored it, and ignore is the word that I like to use, is when I've ignored the signs, right? Mm-hmm. When I ignore the signs, it is not pleasant. It is really painful. So much so, Elizabeth, that my first dose of this was in 2004 when I doubted what I was doing on radio and I came down with a mystery disease, okay? Now, well, I don't know. Is that unusual?
No, let me tell you what that's about. And I've been doing something called spiritual intensives. I've been doing them since I've been breathing practically. I'm doing another one at the end of February 27th and 28th here in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and everybody's invited to attend, and you'll learn about the spiritual chakras. But I do want to say that either you're going to clean it up, and you have 3 chances to do that, or the universe is going to do it. You never want the universe to clean it up because they are always far worse. So you say that you had something in 2004, but did you have some advance warnings against that thought pattern?
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Okay. And you ignored them.
Yeah,
so
I'm lying to you.
And it went slam, bang.
That's right. It's like, girlfriend, what are you kidding? We gave you a wrong phone number. You dialed it. You didn't hang up. What part of that don't you get? Let's do this. I want to open up the phone lines for our listeners here to connect with Elizabeth directly. 1-800-930-2819. Benny, let's take a few callers. I'm still getting messages.
I need their first name, their birth date, and one focused question.
Great. That is perfect. Let's get that going here. So you need let's say that again for Mr. Benny.
First name and where they're calling from. We always want to know that. Their birth date and one focused question. Focused question.
Yeah. And this is really kind of interesting for people that might be tuning in for, the first time or tuning in to get a sense of this. I want to ask you a question. There are folks that call into the show, people that we know. We have great listeners. And the question that comes up a lot is, how do I know if I'm dreaming big enough? How do I know? I just feel like there's more that I am supposed to be doing. And that question comes across from something I shared, Elizabeth. I shared that I wake up and I meditate and I ask, what am I to do today? And recently, like for the past year, the answer has been simple: more.
Okay.
That's what I hear.
Let's change the question. Let's change the question.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll change the question in the morning to, thank you for bringing me the power of love with every breath. And please be with me as I walk through my day.
Mm.
And then you are in co-creation. Because you're not asking them to do it for you. No. You're going through your day. You're making decisions based on that breath. And you asked for that in the morning. So you're not asking a question of give me. You are saying, I am here. I am God. I am love. Support me through the day. Of course, they're going to support you through the day. But when you ask in that way, you're in co-creation.
Yeah.
You hear that difference?
It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. And for me, I have so much that I'm grateful about. And I know that the people listening here as well. When we are in a place, and stuck is probably the most used words we have right now. We hear it. All you need to do is Google stuck or stuckness. How does the energy of stuckness relate to where people might be in their life's journey? And what can we say to help them get unstuck?
When you're stuck, your ego and subconscious is refusing to let go. It's that simple. You're stuck because you want to be stuck, at least on the subconscious levels. So let's try another sentence. Take a deep breath. Thank you for being with me today. As I walk into new areas, joyously meet new people, and welcome all new opportunities. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, Pat, because people don't do that. They concentrate on where they think they're wrong. They don't concentrate on where they think they can go. Do you hear the difference?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I can feel.
I want you to write me an email in a month and tell me how that's working for you, because it's very powerful.
I will. I mean, and I can feel the difference. And this is something that you talked about earlier in the show. And I want to just say for folks out there, we've opened up the phone lines for those of you who'd like to call in and connect with Elizabeth for a reading here live on the show, 1-800-930-2819. You talked about emotions earlier, and I wanted to kind of, revisit that with you. When folks talk about emotions, there is this dialogue about emotions versus feelings and a confusion about them. Are they one and the same? And what is ours to do with this new energy around emotions?
Okay, emotions and feelings are basically the same, and they are the second level. The first level is physical, then there's the mental, emotional, and then there's the spiritual. The question, Pat, is what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? Now, the most important thing about your emotions that make you want to go maybe and smack somebody is, do you really go and smack somebody, or do you say, thank you for sharing, Spirit. I know that I'm angry. I will look at my part in this and I will let it go. Because everybody has 50-50. We don't want to say that. What we really want is the person to come back and say, I know you're wrong. I know I was wrong. I know you're right. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry doesn't work with me anymore. I just laugh at I'm sorry, because it's become an excuse and a placating sentence. But in other words, how are you going to act on your emotions? You're never going to stop your emotions. You cannot take away that which you've already experienced and gone through, but you can react differently. And when you react differently, you will let go of the old response. The old emotions won't need to come back because they've already been healed, and you'll go on to the next layer of the onion. So when you feel stuck, just say, I am stuck. Why am I stuck? Do a little meditation. I am stuck because sometimes you don't know why you're stuck. And Louise Hay used to say, go take some pillows, put them on the bed, and start hitting them until you can get to whatever part of you will reveal where you're stuck. It will happen. I'm angry because, and you hit the pillows. And that sentence will come out, I'm angry because somebody did something to me in 5th grade. Okay, so then you sit with that and you are thankful that that has come up for you. And you think of the incident, you replay the incident, you see it healed, you put light on it, and you see that it's healed and that it really didn't make any difference in your life, and you let go of that need to hang on to it. And you will find that not only will your relationships become more positive, but the way that you react to people will become more positive. You will build your charisma, and people will want to be with you. They'll want some of that new energy.
Yeah. Yeah. It is contagious, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Or desirable.
desirable and contagious.
We all have it. That's the great part. We do all have the energy and the power to change our book of life, which is what we're living now, and to open it up, to smile and to accept the world and all that is in it.
What is the this coming? Let's look at this year for a minute. I've heard this year called many, many things by a number of different people. But the one thing I think that's coming across loud and clear is that it's a different energy. It's a different energy. Is that true? How different is it?
It's the year of the monkey.
Yeah.
The monkey can either be the guy that gets into your garbage and puts it all over your kitchen, or he can be the guy that's going to do something magical, like swing from a tree when a bear is after him. So it's unexpected. And the reason that it's unexpected astrologically is what I said to you before. We have just finished 7 lineups with Pluto and Uranus. And now what are we doing? We are going to swing into our new life. We've ended like 8 cycles in 2012, and now it's time to go forward into our new cycle and to start to build it. And that will come as we go through the year and make our decisions. But I will say one thing, the status quo is going down the toilet. The status quo is being changed. And if you don't believe me, look at the presidential election. The people that are running the election, that are running for president, the old way are not being heard. But the people that are saying something new and different and are acting outside of the box are being heard. That's what this year is about. This year is a fluctuating year. We're going to have a lot of ups and downs, but in the end, it's going to be destruction before reconstruction. So we have to trust and believe that it's for the good.
Wow. And, you know, part of this, too, is for many of us, there's this level of impatience.
Yep.
And that is an energy of itself. But before we get to that, we have a fabulous listener calling into the show right now. Mr. Benny, who do we have?
Yeah, we'll take Eugenia calling in from just outside Seattle on Vashon Island area. So, Eugenia, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We need some information from you, Eugenia. Also need your date of birth.
8657.
All right, 8657. Welcome to the show. And what is your question?
So I am on my path, I feel, and I'm going to be doing a Qigong retreat coming up in April. And my question is, Elizabeth, what do you see for me after I do that 2-week retreat?
Why should you wait until the retreat, Eugenia? Why don't you start now? Morning meditation and nightly review. Do some stretching. Do some exercises that get that body moving. I love Qigong, by the way. I think it's a great physical way of releasing energy. But, Eugenia, you want to also have your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy readjusted as well. And the only way you can do that is to bring that light in through that crown chakra. Work your chakras every day. I have a wonderful recording that I made in 1993 with Richard Schulman called The Chakras and Your Body. And I have also, with Richard Schulman in 2015, recorded opening your spiritual chakras. But I think the chakras in your body is what you want to start with, and just work that every day, and you will become so strong by that time, Eugenia, that when you take this course, not only will you love it, you'll breeze through it. So you shouldn't wait.
Oh, awesome.
You should prepare.
Well, I already do. I do Reiki, and I am taking Qigong here in, the Bellevue area. I was just thinking that something more is going to come after, like maybe through my, Reiki business. Something's going to open up even more after I do the Qigong retreat.
I have to say this to you. Don't get mad at me. We're beyond Reiki now. The new spiritual chakras are bringing in something new. Of course, you can't get there until you develop it. Now, Reiki is handled through your palms. Well, what's happening, and I told you it was going to take time, remember, it's not McDonald's, is that the energy is shifting up to that third eye. Because when that ninth chakra behind your occipital bones opens, it's going to give you a laser light that's going to pierce the pituitary, the pineal gland, and come out through the third eye. Take your right hand and put it in front of your third eye and vibrate it. Vibrate the hand. And that's where your point of power is going to be. That's where your healing is going to shift to. So we're all going up. We're ascending. And that's coming. And you'll probably feel some of that with the Qigong class. I feel that that's right for you, Eugenia.
Wow. Wow.
Awesome. Thank you. And I actually just put my hand up there and I can feel intense heat on the third eye.
Good girl.
Wow.
Keep going.
Awesome.
I love what you said. And this really talks to the question that I was asking you. Thank you, Eugenia. Thank you for calling in. And that is, Elizabeth, this idea of being patient. And patience, impatience, and, where is the energy of that coming from? And, for me, when I'm impatient, I know fear is underneath that thing.
Right.
I know it. I know it. I hate to admit it, but I'm going to tell you right here on the radio. I know it is. And that's not something
I want it now because there's always a reason when you desire something. Mm-hmm. And of course you become desireless is when you just walk through your day and let it all happen.
Yeah.
And I have that on rare occasions. I love the days that I feel desireless.
Oh, me too.
It's just a hoot because you don't want anything. You're in total trust. And then it all comes. It all comes in more.
And, this thing we're talking about right here of moving through the day like that, it is really fascinating about how often we think that is a feat of impossibility. And it's really not. And I would love for you to talk about the new energy. Is it an accelerated energy? Yes. Do you believe this is an accelerated energy? Because I know I'm feeling it.
It is an accelerated energy, and it has never been allowed to be on this solar system before, at least not in our lifetime. It may have been here 5,000 and 10,000 years ago when the Atlanteans were alive, but somehow it got blocked off, and now it is just pouring down. Again, it's called the double helix. The color is amber. So if you close your eyes and you see amber, that's where you need to be. The heart chakra is no longer green. The heart chakra is yellow, and the solar plexus is green. That has switched. So the yellow, if you take your yellow rainbow light and you aim that up above your head, aim toward that 10th chakra, which is the spiritual body's heart center, is the 10th chakra. So you take the yellow and you put it in front of you and you do a half circle up to the 10th, and then you bring it, the amber color, down the back and through your back to your heart, and you create a circle of light. In that circle of light, millions of things can be done. This is where we have instantaneous healing. I do write about it in the book, and I teach it at my seminars, at the intensives, how to use the circle of light. It is extremely powerful. It can heal any and all relationships. And the whole secret to healing a relationship is not I want what I want when I want it, and you're wrong and I'm right. The whole key to healing a relationship is, may you bring forth to us the best for all concerned.
One of the things that I did want to ask you about is, when you were talking earlier in the show, you were talking about, the 8th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th chakra. And we were talking about, what is attainable for people? What is it
right
that
now,
they
if you
should
can
be
get
guiding?
your physical chakras balanced and open your 8th chakra, that's a good step. Get your physical chakras balanced, because so many people are out of balance, and open up that 8th chakra. That brings you the desire for service, and it also brings you a higher ego, which means I want service. We talked about that before.
Right.
It brings you completion. It brings you spiritual insight. It brings you telepathy, and it brings you selflessness. and learning how to surrender. That's the first step. The 8.5 chakra, of course, is our filter. This opens the sphere to the higher vibration. That's the doorway, as you say, a small doorway to the amber light, the double helix. And it brings it into the aura. Now you have to bring it from the aura to the body. It's the fourth level. You do that with morning meditation and nightly review. And the question to say, or the statement to make, because you set conditions, is I choose to bring in the new higher energies as much as my body can tolerate at this time. I choose to bring in the higher energies as much as can be tolerated at this time, every day. And you'll start to tingle. Your hair will stand on end. You'll get the chills. You'll get reactions. You may get a fast beating heart just for a few minutes. You may get up one day. The other day I got up and I felt dizzy and I knew I was heavier on my left than on my right. So I got really quiet. I was aware. And I said, I'm probably working on female energies. So I'll just let that be released. The right side is male, the left side is female. So I also do think that you need a good teacher. To work with you.
Well, and
I want to be training really some people how to teach this course. I do want to do that eventually.
I think what you said is really key because, I don't know about, the people listening to the show but for me, being stuck in my selfness is really been, a great challenge. And having somebody take a look on the outside at, okay, what's happening on the outside, how is it happening, and giving us some insight has really been the key. And that's the work that you do as well. I mean, this is where you really can come into play and help people.
Absolutely. Even though they may not like it. You have to let go. It's so funny. It really, really is. Well, they should. Well, I want. You hear all those things, don't you, Pat?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do. And very rarely, do I hear this idea of knowing, this place of knowing that,
well, it's an important place of acceptance. I accept that I am stuck today. I am blessing the fact, I'm thrilled that I'm stuck today because now I'm aware of something that needs to be released. I join hands with Spirit and we release it together. I join hands with Spirit and we release it together. Thank you for bringing it to my awareness.
Wow. Thank you for today. Thank you so much for the show today. Thank you for all that you do. One last question. Please let folks know about your website and what's your personal message. What would you like to leave us with here today?
The website is www.new-visions.com. And remember, listening to Spirit directs your life. Move forward with love and trust.
Thank you so much for today. Elizabeth Joyce, everyone. We're going to take a short break, and I want to just say to everyone, if you want to find out more about us, you definitely can go to thedrpatshow.com. You can also go to transformationtalkradio.com. You can check us out on Facebook, The Dr. Pat Show, Twitter, The Dr. Pat Show. And we'll be telling you lots more about our crowdfunding effort. We're going to take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back. We've got another hour of the Dr. Pat Show coming up.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against brought me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head and a trouble that can be named.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.